Okay, hi. So I told you that I had something I was going to make for you today, and this is it. I hope you're not disappointed. It's a video. But as your mom and I dropped you off last night and we drove away, it was really silent and really quiet in the car. And I know we were both sad. I think your mom was really, really sad, feeling like this day is finally here, and it really hit her hard. And for me, it was a little bit of that, but more. I think there were some things that I wanted to say that I didn't get an opportunity to. The week leading up to yesterday was really crazy for me at work, and I was really focused on stuff outside. And I know I missed our lunch together, which bummed me out because you were checking off your list of things that you wanted to do before you left, and we had this really cool Wednesday night dinner tradition that we didn't get a chance to do before you left. So maybe it was during that time that I wanted to talk to you, but since I missed it, I've got some thoughts that I wanted to share with you. So I put together this fun video, and I hope you enjoy it. But here it is. I know going off to college can be a very scary time, especially when it's your first time away from home. I know you split time between your mom and dad's and did lots of travel on the airplane. So you grew up quickly that way, but it's different when you go away and live on your own. Last night I told you about a story for me when it was the first time I went away from home and how it hit me really quickly, and I wasn't prepared for it. So I want to kind of give you some guidance and what I'm calling my 2 cents on life. So take it for what it's worth. But hopefully you do take it in. I've learned a lot through life. Obviously, I've got a lot of experience, and you're the first person that I get to share that with. So I wanted to put this together. It's just my 2 cents in life. Stay in touch, please. I talked to you about you're going to go away. This is obviously your first time out, and I know that you spent time flying back and forth and traveling between your mom and dad's house and north and south. This is different though. This is the first time you're ever going away and living on your own, and it's going to be hard. I told you the story about the first time I did that and how hard it was on me. You're going to get homesick. During the day, you'll be okay because you're going to be occupied at school and your mind will be focused on that. But at night, trust me, night is when the boogeyman comes and you're going to get homesick. So the best way to do it is to still stay distracted as best you can, but stay in touch. More importantly, call your friends, call your mom, and call your Mikey. So stay close to us. My next bit of advice to you, Isabella, is don't give in to peer pressure. Be true to yourself. Don't conform to what everybody else is doing. So just be Isabella, the one that everybody knows and loves, and don't feel like you need to do what everybody else is doing just to be part of the cool crowd or whatever. And there's going to be that pressure. Trust me. There's going to be fraternity parties. There's going to be the pressure, or maybe wanting you to join a sorority, and then there's hazing that goes along with that. Or you're going to go to a party and there's going to be people doing you never know. There's a whole new world of drugs that people are going to be doing, and there's going to be drinking and the availability of alcohol. So don't feel like you need to do any of that stuff. Just, stay within your comfort zone, and just be true to yourself. Your mother raised you right, so you know what's right from wrong. And I'm just asking you to always err on what you know to be the truth for Isabella, which is, be yourself, not peer pressured. So this little bit of advice kind of goes hand in hand with the peer pressure one. It's okay to stay home on a Saturday night. There's going to be all kinds of opportunities and socialize on, the weekends after school, Fridays, Saturday nights, but it's okay to stay home on a Saturday night and just pamper yourself. Do something that you want to do, whether that's baking brownies or watching a movie on Netflix or just catching up or drawing. I know you love to draw and paint, so just take the time. for yourself, and do something you want to do, and keep yourself out of bad or uncomfortable situations where you don't have to answer to the peer pressure question. I know that my kids would roll my eyes if I give them this bit of advice, but it's so true. Take care of yourself. And by that I mean watch what you eat and exercise. Exercise is going to free your mind. Trust me, the most difficult challenges in my life I got through as I was training for my first marathon and my first half marathon. It just your body just produces and releases these chemicals and endorphins that science has decided they're going to package and put into some pharmaceutical and charge people a lot of money for. So people that are depressed are taking these pharmaceutical drugs when you can get the exact same benefit if you just exercise. So trust me, exercise frees your mind, and it's just going to make you feel so much better in general in life. So take care of yourself. Exercise not only changes your body, but it also changes your mind, your attitude, and your mood. This is probably going to be the easiest for you to do, but study hard. You have put in the time, and this has never been a problem for you. I know that you're very serious about your studies, and you got to keep that going. Always be present in the moment. Know why you are there in Santa Barbara. You worked hard to get there, and now that you're there to go to school and to get smart, right? So put in the work. Take the time. Homework comes first. Your studies come first. If you're serious about your studies, then it's going to show, and it's going to pay off for you in the long run. So always be present in the moment and just go for it, man. Go for it. This next bit of advice can be, I know it's probably going to be a bit of a challenge, but it's never complain about your situation, because you never know. There is always, trust me, somebody around you is always having a worse day than you, or somebody that is always in a worse situation than you are. So as bad as your problem seems, find a way to overcome it. Adapt and overcome. There's always a solution, and it might be that you need to get out of your present way of thinking in order to solve it. So see my previous advice about exercising. Whenever you find yourself having a bad day, go to the gym, go work out, go for a run, go for a bike ride, do something, and that will help you think differently. And chances are there's a solution. So you just need to figure it out. So my advice is just never complain about your situation. Just adapt, overcome, find a way to solution for it. I forgot to mention there were no squirrels harmed in the making of this video. Isabella, you and I talked about this briefly the other day, and you were worried about some things that maybe some of your friends had said to you about not having declared a major, and perhaps being unfocused in your classes for the first semester of college. But remember, my advice to you at that time is the same as it is right now. Don't worry about that, because guaranteed 75 to 100% of the people who think they know what they want to do as they enter college are going to end up changing their major. So if they're taking focused classes right now on something that they're not going to do for the rest of their life, then they're wasting their time. I think you're fine just going in right now undeclared and then figuring out what it is you want to do, but taking a variety of classes that still count toward your graduation and check the boxes toward requirements that you need. But who knows, you may stumble on something that you find really interesting, and you want to maybe explore an area that you had no idea maybe you didn't even know it even existed. So I think you're on the right track. Don't worry about what others are doing. Life is going to be long. You got to explore. You got to try new things. Follow your heart, and you'll stumble upon something that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And when you do that, when you enjoy what you do, the money will follow. So don't worry about it. You're on the right track. This is advice that I would love to give all people, really, all people. I was going to say all kids, but it's really all people today, is put down your phone. the world is passing people by, and nobody even notices it because everybody's staring at their phone. I mean, almost literally, I walked into a lady today. She was staring at her phone and turned the corner and just bumped into me, not even paying attention to what the heck was going on. It's it's so bad, and I just want to tell people to talk to people. I mean, the art of conversation is lost. Observe nature, have coffee, and put down your phone and actually convert with the people sitting on the other side of the table. Take a nature walk, watch the sunset, just sit and watch people. I get so much enjoyment out of that. Just people watch. Read a book. You know those things with the cover and the paper pages that you actually have to flip and turn? Walk in the rain, feel the sand between your toes. Just observe and take in life. It's passing people by, and it's just a shame. So my advice to you, Isabella, is just put down your phone and take in life every once in a while. It's okay to capture life, taking pictures and capture life, but don't be glued to your device. Put it down and enjoy life. This next bit of advice is to celebrate your success. Take a few minutes and, when something goes right, you did something, whether it was acing a test or, some personal milestone, you have achieved a goal or checked a box on your bucket list, whatever it is, you got to take a few minutes to celebrate your success. That's part of the reason why we set goals, and that's part of the reason why we work so hard to achieve different things in life. And I think one of the mistakes that I make is not reflecting on all that work and just enjoying the path and the journey and the finality of what it was that you just did. So take a few minutes to celebrate. Don't rest on your laurels. And you did something that you set out to do. So recognize yourself and treat yourself, whether it's a dessert, a treat, whatever it is you want to do. Maybe a night off of something that you have to do or whatever. Just celebrate, take a few minutes and enjoy it. But also you need to learn from your mistakes. So let's say you fell a little short of your goal. What was it that you could have done to maybe do it better? Or maybe you did try and you still came up short. So just a little self-reflection to figure out what it was you could have done differently to get there. And go for it, man. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's what life is all about. You're going to fall down, right? For learning to walk, you fell more times than not, but you always got up and you kept walking, and look at you today. So, you got to just use that same mentality. You got to not stay down. You got to get up, brush yourself off, and keep going. So that's my advice to you, is celebrate your success and learn from your mistakes. One skill in life that, regardless of what you do and where you are and who you're with, the best skill that any person can have is to be a great listener. So you don't have to know all the answers. Sometimes you just have to be there for somebody when they're going through some hard times, or they need to talk through a situation or something that's going on in their life. Maybe they're struggling personally or they're struggling in school. If you become known as somebody who can be a great listener, then that is the greatest thing in the world that you can do. So just be someone that friends know they can go to and talk to. And again, don't feel like you have to respond or have the answers for it. They just need sometimes somebody that they can talk to and know that the other person's not going to judge them, they're just going to listen to them. So be a great listener for somebody. This next bit of advice is one that I still sometimes will struggle with, which is assume goodwill. What that means, it's kind of a weird expression, but just assume that if somebody says something that may seem mean or may seem derogatory, assume that they didn't intend it to be that way. And a lot of times things will get lost if it's via text message or somebody posts something in social media that doesn't quite come across as being nice. Just assume they didn't mean it to be hurtful or mean. And the best thing to do is always communicate with the person and talk to them about it, and you'll probably find that to be the case. But in most cases in life, I have found that if you assume goodwill with people, then it usually turns out that you were correct and there's no ill will. So it's weird, but true. So just assume goodwill. This little bit of advice seems weird, I know, because you're allergic to peanut butter, and I would never advise you to eat peanut butter. But this goes to the story I told you last night. And it really, the root of this advice is really in your ability to overcome adversity, and try not to feel sorry for yourself. My story was that I went away to college in Long Beach and really wasn't equipped with a place to live and a job or income, and I didn't have my parents supporting me in this, so it was really me living out of my car for the most part, and needed to put my pride away, and because I couldn't afford much, I ate peanut butter with jelly mixed in. And I told you, and that sounds funny, but my point is just you got to be ready to tackle what you see at the time as adversity and not an ideal situation, and probably something that's outside your comfort zone and you're not used to dealing with. But again, you overcome it and you learn from it, and trust me, your situation will always get better. Just keep focused on the task at hand and what your goal is. So your goal is to be there, be at school, and the difference is that you're fortunate in that you have a good support system in place. So don't be afraid to eat the peanut butter with the jelly. That's just a code sign for adversity. You'll overcome it and you'll be just fine. Okay, next is to take the path, P-A-T-H, take the path less traveled. And by that it means don't always go the same direction that everybody else is going. Just think there would be, if there wasn't somebody that was afraid of making a mistake, then so many things in this world would not have happened. So be that person that takes a chance and goes a different direction, or goes a different direction that everybody else is going, because everybody else is going away. You're never going to be the first at anything. So be the first and take the path less traveled. I can't even say it. You can always find your way home. So if you take a different direction than everybody else and you find that you went the wrong way, no rule that says you can't turn around and go back the other way, but you're never going to be the first at anything if you don't explore and try new things. So that's my advice to you. Don't be afraid to try new things. Take the path less traveled. While it's me giving you this advice, it's really me that learned this from you, Isabella, because the best feeling of happiness is when you're happy because you've made someone else happy. And I think this is one of the strongest things that you have going for you, is your generosity and your willingness to do things for people just to make them happy without expecting anything in return. So the best feeling of happiness is when you're happy because you've made someone else happy. And I did this recently when I was fortunate enough to be in a position to buy my mom a new car. And her car was not only old, but it didn't have air conditioning, and it was constantly breaking down, and she was afraid to go anywhere. She's had it just stall out on her, and she can't afford that. At her age, she deserved a new car. So it was the greatest thing in the world. It made me so happy to be able to do that for my mom. And that's something that I'll never forget. So my advice is do things for others that you can, and don't expect anything in return. And it's just going to be a great way to get through life. So that's it. That's something that I want to share with you, but it's again something that in part I learned a lot of that from you. So I'm thanking you for that. Okay, so there you have it, Isabella. That's my 2 cents on life. As I said, take it for what it's worth, but it's been a fun project for me because it's made me do some soul searching, and I'm sorry that it's so long. It actually grew in duration and length as I started doing this, because I kept thinking about, oh, I got to tell her this, I got to tell her this. So I really honestly had no idea how long it would be, but I'm surprised to see that it is. And if you're still with me, if you're still watching this, thank you. But anyway, just you know that we will miss you terribly, and we love you, and you can always come home, of course, but tough it out. I know the first little bit's going to be hard for you to get through, but you'll be just fine. You're a strong, very independent, strong-willed person, and I know
probably a lot of this advice that I shared with you is just, you know it already. So just take it to heart, practice it, and come home to us in 4 years. Okay, we love you and good luck. Bye.